Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to my channel. It's Wednesday morning and it's looking like bad news for the royal family going into the new year. It seems that a judge in the States has decided that it's within the public interest to release hundreds of documents regarding the Jeffrey Epstein trial. A lot of testimony from his personal assistant, over 170 names of prominent people that have had association with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, we know, of course, Andrew's history with Jeffrey Epstein, although he has denied ever doing anything wrong. In fact, he is, despite paying Virginia Giuffre $12 million, he claims he's never met her. We have pictures. You know, it's obvious something was going on. To what extent, you know, it could be argued, but I am of the opinion that things are probably a hell of a lot shadier than we're ever being led to understand even now. You know, so this is a big problem for the royal family. Here we go. It's all going to surface again. And indeed, in the testimony of Epstein's assistant, she does accuse Prince Andrew of groping her on one occasion. Now, you know, Andrew has been to the house in New York. He had been to the house in Miami. He'd indeed been on Epstein's private island. As when these documents come out, have so many others. Just for example, people like the Clintons, Bill and Hillary, people like Oprah Winfrey. Oh my gosh, there she pops up again. Meghan, Harry, Oprah. I mean, it's the whole crowd. We know she's one of the elites. Interestingly enough, Jeffrey Epstein isn't the only pedo that owns an island that Oprah's ever been associated with. There's another one, and I've mentioned his name many times. Peter Nygard, the notorious Canadian sex offender who's been convicted here on something 5 of 7 counts of aggravated sexual assault and holding people against their will and all manner of things. And he's awaiting another trial in the States. I mean, this guy is so bad that his sons testified against him, you know, and have changed their names to their, like, mother's maiden names so that they perhaps won't be associated with him any longer. That's how rotten this Peter Nygard was. And, you know, not only Oprah, you know, hanging out with Peter Nygard, wouldn't you know that Andrew, I mean, what are the chances of, he said, you know, it was very unfortunate that, you know, Jeffrey Epstein turned out to be the kind of guy he was. Well, what are the chances of having more than one pedo as a friend? You know, especially you learn once you wouldn't get involved with that kind of person again if you were, you know, a normal, decent person. No. Andrew was chummy with Peter Nygard as well, been on his island. Not only him, but Fergie herself. And the children. Fergie and the children have been on Epstein's island as well. What is it with these people? You know, well, I'll tell you what it is with these people. what we see with these level of elitists and the World Economic Forum and the World Bank and the UN and the WHO, World Health Organization, all of these non-elected technocrats that are in positions that they can, in effect, control the workings of the world. They even sit above elected politicians. They feed them policy and what they want to do. And we have evidence of that because at any World Economic Forum meeting, you'll have government representatives from all kinds of countries. And there's Klaus Schwab at the head of the table dictating his vision of a dystopian future for us. You know, how he wants things to be. And this is it. Don't forget, the royal family, the king is a member of the World Economic Forum. He's very big on, green issues and emissions and, sorry, I've got a hair. Just stop oil. He has said he sympathized with them. He is all for limiting your resources in the future, but it's not going to affect him, just like it won't affect the other elites that are at the top of the table. It's about controlling us. That's what it's all about. Now, that in itself is disturbing if you're a monarchist, and especially if you're not, to know that the monarchy is playing a part in the what people would call a conspiracy theory, but it's the fact that there is a group of elites that run the world and are dictating every day what your future is going to look like. People more and more are beginning to understand this, although, it's very hard to get a grip on how deep it really goes. But yeah, the royal family is knee-deep in it. It's no surprise that Harry is coming out against free speech, and he wants censorship on the internet and court cases against newspapers. And it's because the royal family's like the mafia. Once you're in, you're never really out, even though they're out. Barack Obama was courting Harry in 2017, let's get a royal on board. And it seems that Charles wasn't terribly opposed to it, because if it was something that they did not want Harry to be involved in, you can bet your sweet ass he wouldn't be involved in it. This all didn't just start when him and Meghan broke away because they had no choice. That's bullshit. This stuff was in the workings long before that, and we know that. By the interview, just go back and listen to the interview that Harry did with Barack Obama back in December, in fact, of 2017. 6 years ago. So, what Harry is, he's a manifestation of the real workings of the globalist control cabal in real time. He's a low-level patsy, but they're letting us see it, right? And he's low-level enough. He's high enough in the hierarchy, being a royal, that he gets a certain amount of airtime, shall we say, as long as he's spouting their agenda. but he's low level enough that should things go sideways, he's expendable, basically. But it's like they're taunting us. They're giving us a little bone, as hungry dogs, a little bone to chew on. They're throwing Prince Harry at us and saying, look, if you dig a little bit, you can find out what he's involved in and how he got involved, and you'll get a little insight into the agenda and what we're going to do to you. They're teasing us. Harry is a carrot on a stick for us, but he's expendable in the end. Andrew, on the other hand, is a bigger problem, not only for the royal family, but for the elites, because he's let the mask slip. He was, even with all his royal protection, he just exposed himself as an associate of these kind of people. Allegations very hard to deny on his part. The impact of him being involved has brought other names into the midst, and here we go, and the problem's getting larger. It's getting larger for the elites, because as more information comes out, as more names are published, it's gonna be hard to backtrack involvement and then what they're really involved in. And you see, here's the biggest conspiracy of all. What they're all involved in is the same thing. The elites, the ones that run the world, the ones we talk about all the time, and your politicians and mine, and the top paid people in Hollywood and on the music charts. There's a nasty little secret that they'd prefer you didn't know. They're all some way or another involved in the exploitation of young humans. It's like the worst kept secret. They're all involved. It's what they do. And you can listen to Christian leaders. You can listen to crime reporters. You can listen to private investigators. You can listen to people on the edge like David Icke, and anybody who's investigated anything regarding what's really going on in the world they'll come to the same conclusion. How can that be? That's because that's the fuel that runs the world, and it's horrifying. And in every level, the royal family's involved. Now, are they victims of their own social standing? They gotta be involved. Was it something that they were actively engaged in? And so, is it something that, well, it happens, but we'd rather everybody doesn't know. This whole Andrew thing is going to bring up a whole bunch of worms for the royal family. And most of all, though, what it's going to do with the publishing of these names and documents, it's going to make even more a wider group of the public aware of what's really going on, not only with Epstein and the royals and Andrew, but in the world. What's going on with the World Economic Forum? What's going on with the Clintons? What's going on with Oprah and your politicians and all of that? I mean, it's gonna open a lot of eyes. And that's dangerous for the elites and the royal family, because they, to a very large degree and for a very long time, have operated in secret. Now it's a lot harder to do that. There's a lot more damage control involved. People are getting smarter and savvier and understanding what's happening, and they're rejecting this control grid. So it's going to be tough times. Tough times for everybody. Tough times for the royal family, as if they don't have enough on their plate. And this whole scandal is going to rear its ugly head again. Harry and Meghan aren't going to stop. But as I've said time and time again, I think William's going to be stepping up and taking command of this situation in the not too distant future. Well, that's what I've got for you today. 5 days out from Christmas. Hope everybody's enjoying the holiday spirit, and we will see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you're thinking. And have a great day, everybody. Bye for now.